Aloha all, and welcome back to Let's Play Sly 2 Bandit Thieves. I'm Paper Mario Guy, and we are going to be entering into episode 4 in this part, after we completed episode 3, where we unlocked some crazy new plot points. Constable Neela has now betrayed us. Sly and Murray are captured. Carmelita Fox has been grouped in with the Sly gang. And now we have to take on the Contessa, who may not be as pure as we once thought. Though, it still appears as though she's on the good side, but I have a bad feeling about Naila's influence. So, we're going to start it up without any more introductions, so let's get started.
It took a sleepless week of data crunching, but I eventually tracked down the location of my friends, locked away in the mysterious towers of Prague. At the moment, they are the unwilling guests of Interpol's most renowned prison warden, the Contessa. While still a criminal psychology student, she entered into a whirlwind romance and married a wealthy aristocrat. Sadly, the union was short-lived, as the general suspiciously died a few weeks after the ceremony. The widowed Contessa put her education and newly acquired estate to work by opening a criminal rehabilitation center. Her pioneering use of hypnotherapy has produced some good results, and subsequently earned her a prominent position within Interpol. My friends are locked up somewhere in the clinic, and are slated for the Contessa's Good Samaritan brainwashing. If I don't bust them out soon, they'll be working a 9-to-5 job selling shoes, and I'll be out two best friends.
Bentley saves the gang in Jailbreak. So, Sly 2 is definitely taking a turn, an unexpected turn that the first time I ever played this game, I never saw this coming whatsoever, and I find it to be very interesting. So if you had been groveling over the fact that maybe you didn't play as Bentley as much as you wanted to, well, know that you're going to get your opportunity right now. So Bentley is...
I should make my way over to the Contessa's house. Maybe I'll pick up a few leads on the location of Sly and Murray.
Alright, so I just wanted to be quiet a little bit. But you'll notice, you know, Bentley, he's not new in the sense of his gameplay. We've seen it before, and it works all the same as it did in Paris, and also in Rajan's Jungle, and... you know, he's not much different, unless, of course, you upgrade him, which, let me actually see. I actually have some stuff that I have not applied yet. He has the size, the stabilizer, and he also has the trigger bomb. So, we are going to use that, and we'll put this one on L2. So, might as well, just in case, you know, we want to use those later. At least they're equipped now, as before they were not. So, Bentley's pretty interesting, but, you know, as I've kind of made apparent, Sly is definitely my favorite, area of gameplay. I think it's the most varied and also the most fun. So, you know, playing as Bentley is definitely unique and everything, but this is a really big anticipation chapter for me, because of several reasons. One, I'll say right now, my favorite area in the game is coming up after this chapter, so we have that to look forward to. And then also, you know, for majority of this chapter, we're going to be playing as Bentley, and because Sly is my favorite, you know, the anticipation until we hopefully can break Sly out, is very great. But, you know, it's a pretty cool concept, and I really like it, and I think it's the most unique thing that they've done in, Sly thus far. But, if you were wondering what the size destabilizer was, if you hit L2, you're going to start glowing green, and then you can knock them down to size. And that's really good, especially against some of the larger enemies, because you're not going to be able to do any sort of damage to them unless you put them to sleep as Bentley. So if you make them small, then you can, you know, really lay into them and make sure that they get their beatings worth, just like all the other enemies that Bentley can actually attack, like those little puppy dog things. Ooh, gotta watch out for that. So there's some booby traps. This place is littered with booby traps, and it has probably the darkest feel of any area in the game. I just feel so desolate and isolated in this whole area, which is good because I'm almost positive that's what they were going for. But it doesn't change the fact that, you know, makes me want to get my buddies out all that much more quickly. So, ooh, it's pretty dark. Or maybe I'm just sitting a little too close to the TV. I don't know, one or the other.
Aha! The Contessa is out making her rounds. Wait a second. The feathers on my sleep darts vibrate near sounds. If I maintain my position on top of this parabolic dish, I should be able to hear that frequency at a distance. This is great. If I tag the Contessa with my darts, I'll be able to listen in on whatever she says. I might even learn where she's locked up Sly and Murrary.
Okay, so basically this is a unique version of the reconnaissance mission. You obviously are not going to just know what to do or where to go, so you gotta wait until the Contessa hops up.
The Claw Gang is falling apart. Spy shipments have all but stopped. I never would have joined if I'd known it would be this easy to disrupt the plan. At least the Cooper Gang is under lock and key. Their lopsided morality flies in the face of man's inherent selfishness. Ah well, they'll see it my way soon enough.
So already we have found out that the Contessa is part of the Claw Gang, so I knew.
Those fools at Interpol. They keep sending me criminals and I keep making money. How come no one ever thought of this before? Hypnotize criminals and force them to reveal where they've hidden their fortune. I'm a genius. If only I had more spice to help me with the hypnosis. That blasted Cooper Gang. The fat one. What's his name? Murray. Yes, Murray. He'll be the first to break. I should spend a few sessions probing that feeble mind. I can only imagine the wealth that gang has accumulated over the years. That's Sly Cooper. Such a complex and rebellious mind. A month or two in the hole should break his spirit. Let him squat there week after week. He's seen that the guards along the wall all have motion detectors. There is no escape. Slowly, the reality of his captivity will set in, and I'll get to work on his mind.
Inconceivable! She's no healthcare professional! Why, that's the most heinous crime I've ever heard of! Putting inmates into hypnosis so they'll tell her where they've stashed their loot! It dishonors both law enforcement and thieves at the same time! I should get to work and figure out a way to break Sly out of the hole.
Wow, that's a lot of information to digest, which is kind of why I paused for a bit, because I was trying to talk about things as they became apparent, but, you know, so much was becoming apparent that, you know, it was kind of difficult. But That's a lot of information, and that kind of gives you a little bit about the type of person that the Contessa is. And it reveals that she is not a healthcare professional. She's, in fact, another member of the Claw Gang. Or maybe not even the Claw Gang, but she's just I'm trying to think of the word. Yeah, I cannot think of the word. She is not a subordinate, but she's a helper. You know, I know there's a term for it. But she's a helper to the Claw Gang, and that means that she is an enemy to us. And the fact that she's going to try to brainwash Sly Cooper in an attempt to find his fortune, I mean, that's quite the fortune. I mean, that includes the devious raccoonist, so that's no joke. We cannot let her get a hold of our precious belongings, and we also need to be able to move on with our search of the clockwork parts, because, I mean, if you think about it, they know exactly where, you know, the clockwork parts would have been stashed. Or they will if they're successful in their attempt to brainwash him. But the one piece of actual information that is really important to us, because at the end of the day, whether or not she's a part of the Claw Gang or not, we were going to try to break Bentley and Sly out. I mean, not Bentley, but Murray and Sly out. But what she did is she told us where Sly is located, and that is an essential piece of information.
That computer is part of a control system for the electromagnetic train. By hacking all the terminals along the train tracks, I should be able to reverse their polarity, thereby turning the train into a giant projectile. Without question, its impact on the prison walls should create a hole large enough for Sly to escape through.
Alright, so Bentley has easily cooked up a plan, easily and very quickly at that. And so now we have a bunch of hacking missions, and these hacking missions are kind of fun. I believe they resemble things we've seen in the past.
Nothing like a good computer hack job. Now, the left analog stick, I'll have to hack through these barrier nodes. I should move the right analog stick in the direction I want to unleash my hacker code.
Alright.
By using both analog sticks at the same time, I'll be able to move and shoot in different directions.
Alright, well, I kind of gave Bentley the benefit of the doubt there and allowed him to speak and explain. But it's basically a stick shooter, you know, a dual analog stick shooter. It's relatively fun. The little noise that plays when you're in there gets kind of annoying after a while, but that's a, you know, small price to pay for a, you know, kind of fun mini game of sorts to allow us to hack this terminal. And they go pretty quickly. There's 6 of them. I mean, I wouldn't expect them to be very, very long. And you just got to make sure that you watch out for the train, because I'm pretty sure if you get hit by the train, you're going to die almost instantly, I think. And a train will come by every now and then, but just follow the train tracks and they will lead you straight to the next terminal. So finding the terminals isn't very difficult. It's surviving the little mini game that can sometimes be a little bit of a pain in the ass, especially because you'll have like these drones. So if you've ever played Geometry Wars before, or if you're any good at Geometry Wars, even if you've, you know, if you've played it, then this should be a cakewalk to you. And I'm a huge fan of Geometry Wars, so I naturally like this minigame quite a bit. You also have the ability to take a bunch of hits, so, you know, getting hit isn't necessarily like the end of the world like it might have been in the hacking missions in Sly 1. So you have a little bit of leeway, but I'd say the best thing is just to make sure that you keep moving. Like, don't ever stop to shoot unless you're in a spot where, like, you know you can't be hit. And that's my advice for these mini games. And you know, you'll be like right here. This is a good spot to stop because well, not really. Because I'm just getting obliterated. Okay, there I go. That was bad. There is a spot that you can get to where you can actually avoid getting hit, but I am not doing a very good job. But you want to get into a spot like this, and that way you can focus on the barrier nodes. I just so happen to get pretty screwed, but you can see what happens if you're not moving around. You just get obliterated by the ones that can shoot you. But, I mean, get into a good spot like this, and you can take care of majority of the nodes without, you know, with relative ease. And you could also pick off those other people as they come by, so that's good. Alright. So that was a little bit of a risky... I mean, I didn't do very good on that hacking thing, but I was trying to show something. And, I mean, I guess I did show it in a way. Oh, yeah, and then I showed myself getting obliterated by the train. I told you it's a one-hit KO. But I think it checkpoints after every terminal that you've successfully hacked. Yes, I'm right. So, it's not a huge deal. But try to get out of the way of the train. Because you don't want to die. Dying's just inconvenient, really. Nothing more, nothing less. I mean, you have plenty of lives. Or, well, you have basically unlimited lives. But, like, here's a good, here's a good one. Because these things will, they'll shoot and they'll also, you know, try to, ram into you. So this is, like, where you kind of have to be a little bit more versatile, and this is where you kind of, like, hopefully are good at Geometry Wars style, you know, gameplay, because if you're not, then you might have a little bit of a problem. When you get them to the lower barrier nodes, you might want to just, like, ram through them. That might be a quicker way, but just make sure that you have the health to do that.
Now, on to reverse the field's polarity.
Wow. That train just sent me flying again. But I really don't care because, like I said, getting hit doesn't do really anything. I mean, yeah, you die, but what's the big deal about dying if there's really no consequence? If they would have sent you back to, say, like, you know, checkpoint, like, you know, 3 terminals done, then that might have been an issue, but it's really not. So they're going to completely ambush you right here with the orange and the red thing. So they kind of built you up, you know, they kind of threw a bunch of different, you know, scenarios at you. Just red guys, just orange guys, you know, some open spaces and everything. But just, you know, move around, you know, in big sweeping motions, and they probably won't be able to get at you. And then once you know, open this, it's a quick hack job.
What a beautiful trajectory! Bullseye!
So there we go. The reverse polarity worked, and we just smashed a giant train right into the area in which Sly was captive. So I do believe if Sly is as cunning and as suave and as smooth as he's proven to be last time, I think we will be getting a hold of Sly again in the next part. But Bentley had his time to shine in part 1 of episode 4, but it is now time to end it off here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, I'm Paper Mario Guy of the KoopaNinjaBros. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys all next time.